I'm done.
Shady McCoy.
I'm done. I'm done with all this, man. I'm done.
No.
And you asked me, coach, you want to go back and coach? No, I don't want to coach this. Because this ain't professional football, man. It ain't about you. It's not about you anymore.
It's true.
The players think it's all about them.
Exactly, but that's the...
It ain't about them. It's about the game of football, man.
Let me ask you this then, Herm, because I've never seen you this passionate, and you are a passionate person. Is it possible, because of who is coaching the Buffalo Bills and the way he likes to coach and the way he likes to talk, that perhaps some of these players, a la Shady McCoy, who has these different platforms, feels empowered to say whatever it is he wants to say?
I don't know that so much. I just think that we give players passes because what we do for a living, media, we love this. This hurts me when I have to see players do this. It just hurts me, and I'm a part of the media.
What about it hurts you the most?
It hurts me that they put their own identity, their own egos in front of the team. Because this is a team game, man. It's always been that way. And it's about the guys in your locker room. It's about the guys not have to stand there and ask the question, you hear what Shady said about your coach? They ain't talking about football. They're talking about nonsense.
Well,
it ain't the game of football, Trey.
You know, I can't disagree with you.
If I didn't work it, I'd walk off this thing right now. Because I'm tired of talking about this mess about these players, man.
Herm is hype. We're going to react to that and get into it in just a minute. Good morning on this Friday Eve. Thanks so much for being with us here on First Take. Skip Bayless, Stephen A. Smith, both in-house today. I'm Molly Karam. Gentlemen, good day.
Good, boss.
How we doing?
Hey, how are you?
I'm good.
Ready?
Guys, let's get into what we just heard from Herm. Very strong comments on NFL Live yesterday. Clearly not pleased by players talking out against coaches. Stephen A., what's your reaction to that sound we just heard?
I will preface my comments by saying Herm Edwards and I are very, very close. I love the man. I look up to him. We talk all the time. But I respectfully, yet emphatically disagree with his position on this matter as it pertains to LeSean McCoy. Adrian Peterson, I agree. That wasn't the time and the place. DeMarco Murray, assuming he instigated a conversation, which Chip Kelly enlightened us and said, look, they sit in first class. They just happen to be sitting next to one another. So it may be much ado about nothing. DeMarco Murray, if indeed he instigated that type of conversation in the aftermath of a victory over New England, I get it. And I can understand how that would frustrate Herm Edwards. But as it pertains to LeSean McCoy, not only do I disagree with Herm Edwards, and I'm looking forward to him sitting right here, I was incredibly disappointed with his position. Everybody's not the same. People inhale things differently. I don't recall anything about LeSean McCoy or what he has had to say that has been anti-team. He has allowed his personal feelings. Last time I checked, he's showing up to practice. Last time I checked, he's going to show up to the game on Sunday. Last time I checked, he's having a relatively productive season for the Buffalo Bills. Okay, he raves about Rex Ryan. I don't recall him talking against his coach. He's talking against his former coach because of personal feelings. Now, let me say this to Herm Edwards specifically. Herm Edwards has a different kind of personality than most coaches. I think all of us would say that. We'd admit to that. I find Coach Herm Edwards to be a man of extremely high and impeccable integrity.
Yes.
If somebody were to offend him personally, I don't know how he would react. I do believe that he would handle it in a manner where it doesn't come across as about me as opposed to team or at the expense of a team. I would never assume that Herm Edwards would ever put himself above a team. That's not his makeup. That's not who he is, which is why he articulated his thoughts the way that he did, because it's not in his fabric to be that kind of individual. But what I would challenge him on is that feeling in a negative fashion about a particular coach that you've had to personal experiences with, how is that anti-team? LeSean McCoy does not play for the Philadelphia Eagles any longer. He does not like Chip Kelly. I think that's clearly obvious. I think it's also clearly obvious that when he was with the Philadelphia Eagles, the manner in which he was treated was something that he took personal, and it personally affronted and offended him. Now, we don't need to revisit all of that. We know where I stand. I'm the one that reported on it, and everybody accused me of making stuff up. And then numerous players, not just LaShawn McCoy, came out and co-signed it. And I don't want to hear about the players inside the Eagles locker room. What the hell are they supposed to say playing for somebody like Chip Kelly at this particular moment in time? Call me when they leave the team, and they have to talk about stories that involve Chip Kelly. And by the way, don't threaten to excoriate them or vilify them in the public forum, in the media and beyond. Literally ask and fully embrace what they tell you, devoid of ramifications or repercussions, and let's see what level of truth they really give you about their experiences with this man. The fact that LaShawn McCoy spoke out about it and said, I'm not going to shake his hand. Look, if it were me, would I be that way? No. There are former bosses and former people that I worked with I can't stand. I'd still shake their hand if they accept, because I move beyond. I'm a grown man. You move beyond it. You let it go. But the flip side to it is that LaShawn McCoy has the right to feel otherwise if he believes it's about the way he was treated. I don't recall LaShawn McCoy literally confining his comments to the fact that he got traded to Buffalo for Kiko Alonso. He spoke about things and other experiences that he had that led up to his departure. I don't know how Herm Edwards or anybody else can ignore that reality. So I get where Coach is coming from. I understand his frustration because on far too many occasions, it does appear to be about the players. But I'd also like Coach to keep in mind the fact that this is the National Football League, who promotes the handful of people they want to promote. And outside of that, you are on your own. This ain't the NBA where you have guaranteed contracts, for years and years and years. You sign a $40 million deal, you sign a $60 million deal, or whatever the case may be. It may not be there for you can get cut the next year. You understand? You can sign the bonuses guaranteed, but a lot of those dollars are not guaranteed. So guys bringing attention to themselves and Herm Edwards being so offended about that. Are you offended about the NFL and how they go about handling their business? Because they're making billions. And they will say, by the way, Skip Bayless, last point. Correct me if I'm wrong, Molly, because you would knowing the NFL the way that you do, along with you, Skip. Please refresh my memory. The NFL signed a 10-year deal that's projected to be in excess of $180 billion over the lifetime of its deal. Isn't this the same league that was willing to charge somebody to perform at the Super Bowl? Am I right? I think I remember that. So you can do whatever you can to exploit your brand and make money. But a player bringing attention to himself is so taboo. And I think that Herm Edwards, in my opinion, humbly, respectfully, because I love that man, I think Herm Edwards, as a former coach in the NFL, gets caught up in how things should be when it comes to the players. And the players would retort by saying, well, how should things be for everybody? Because it seems like everybody's allowed to do what they can do for themselves, but the second a player does it, it's a problem, and it's not about team, and I'm tired of this, and we got to do something about it. That's nonsense, because the league showed themselves. The folks up top set the example for others to follow.
Okay.
If you are all about making your money and bringing attention to your brand, I can't fault the players for doing the same.
Do you think LaShawn is trying to bring attention to his brand this week?
No, but what I'm saying is that when Herm Edwards makes the comment that it's about the players being all about themselves, I'm saying that. In the case of LaShawn McCoy, he clearly has personal animosity towards Chip Kelly, no matter what he tries to explain.
Okay. I'm
saying he has the right to feel that way if this man has offended him. He doesn't work for the man anymore. He's not a part of the Eagles. If he doesn't want to shake his hand and he want to tell the world he ain't going to shake his hand, so what?
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Back to Herm Edwards. I'm also very close to Herm.
Yep.
Have dinner with him occasionally.
Yep.
Love the man.
Good man.
I want to remind you where he came from. I want to remind you, he did not get drafted by any team in this league. As an undrafted free agent, he went to camp with the Philadelphia Eagles. You'd have to call it 1,000,000 to 1 shot to even make the team. And he didn't just make it. He started and became one of the top cornerbacks in the National Football League. Played in a Super Bowl for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yep.
Then he started at the bottom of the coaching tree, and he paid his dues all the way up the ladder the right way. He did it the right way and became a very good head coach in this league, as you both remember, with the Jets in Kansas City. And now he's a very good analyst on this network. Okay, just remember where he came from. He is old school. He did it the hardest way possible, both ways, playing and coaching. And this is where I agree with them all the way to his soul. I tell you this all the time. Football, much beyond basketball or certainly baseball, is a team game. It is a we game. The we's win. The me's don't win in football very often. Maybe occasionally the me gets so good that a me can overcome the we, but it doesn't happen very often. Why have the Patriots been so successful? They are straight we. And it starts at the top with the head coach, who is beyond question. Does anybody ever question Bill Belichick in that locker room? Nobody ever would dare to question him. Tom Brady sets the tone. I like Tom Brady, but I'm not trying to go off topic here, but Tom Brady sets the tone from the top. He's not a me guy, he's a we guy, right? He doesn't self-promote in the locker room, or he doesn't even like to talk to the media. It's like you have to, he's kicking and screaming. It's grudging for him to even speak. Okay, so that's the tone they set, and I believe that's the biggest reason for their success. They're a we. Here we come with LaShawn. To me, he has made this whole week a me week to a fault, because he's going to hurt his team's collective chance to go win a game it desperately needs to win. Not he needs to win, it needs to win. And LaShawn, his teammate said on Monday, LaShawn came in and said, I need you guys, I need you to have my back. Well, no, he doesn't. They all need to go to Buffalo together and win a football game. Not for LaShawn, for the Buffalo Bills. They're 6-6 on the edge of the wild card. They desperately need to win a we game, not a me game. That offended me, and I love LaShawn. We've had him on the show, and he's a good kid. He's got a good heart to him. It's a big heart, and it is burned to the core right now by what Chip Kelly did. He can't let it go. He should have just swallowed it for this week. But guess who his coach is? His coach is named Rex Ryan. And what did Rex do when he went back to the Jets? He made it a big me week, didn't he? Didn't he make that game all about?
And they won.
They won, but remember, he said, I'm not even going to go out for the warm-ups. Well, that's a me thing. You know, that's attracting attention by not attracting attention. So I believe that LaShawn feels a little bit empowered by his head coach to go ahead and do what he does. And you and I talk all the time. We want the athletes to speak their hearts, speak their minds, and then we criticize them. Well, in this case, I don't want them to speak their heart or their mind if it damages their football team. And I believe this does. That's just me. Now, Herm went, you know, he said on 6 o'clock Sports Center, he said, okay, I had a long day and I got a little too caught up in this. So he backed off a little bit and calmed down. God bless him. But in this case, I think Herm gets tired of the me with DeMarco, wanted to talk to the owner, maybe being asked, who knows what happened. I'm not sure what happened. But after the biggest win of the year, it's a me thing, right? Adrian, they lose badly. He gets only 8 carries. It's a me thing. We got out-coached. Okay, that's what Herm's reacting to, because he learned the hard way from the bottom up that this is a unity game. Okay?
First of all, let me respond to several things you just said. Number one, when Adrian Peterson spoke, had he put it on him, that would have been about him.
Yeah, he did a little bit.
Let me finish.
Okay,
I know he did. I know he did. But I'm making the point that had he put it on him and left it at that, that would have been about him. But nobody would have had a problem with it. Yeah, it's the fact that he called out his coach.
The team, though, it's like it's my fault for the team.
It's the fact that he called out his coach that was a problem.
It was.
So what I'm saying to you is that we want to pick and choose when it's about you, when it's about somebody else, and what have you. And I'm saying to Coach Herm Edwards, and I would respond to him in kind. He's, you know, a wonderful guy, happily married man, children, etc. You know what? Herm Edwards, the dad, because coaches are fond of calling players their kids, etc., etc. That's the only reason I'm using that analogy. Well, ask any parent about their children. Right? I'm a dad. Ask any parent about their children. What do? They'll tell you, we're going to instill certain things in you, but at the same time, you got to allow kids to be themselves. Okay. You understand? Let their personality shine, et cetera, et cetera. Why? Because it's a different world and it's a different age. And the level of adjustments that you have to make on some. Listen, as a company, as an industry, as a nation, with all the stuff going on, we have to make adjustments. You have to see the forest from the trees and understand that yesteryear ain't today. This ain't the ESPN that it was a decade ago, 20 years ago, 30 years. This ain't that place. It's a different ballgame. The television, the debate shows everywhere. It didn't used to be like that. It used to be Ted Koppel, Peter Jett, and Tom Brokaw, those boys. Brian Gumble and Bob Costas. It's a different day.
Good point.
What did we do? We adjust to everything. But when it comes to professional sports, we want to sit there and tell these same players, we want to reel you back into old school times because that's what worked for us. Well, it doesn't work for them. And that's the reality of the situation. Everybody, I used to say this about Andy Reid, who I love dearly. I used to say this about Andy Reid and other guys all the time. If everybody has to be choir boys and everybody has to be in lockstep doing exactly what you think they're supposed to do, when they're supposed to do it, how they're supposed to do it, what the hell do I need you for as a coach? What are you bringing? Because if everybody has to be your kind of guy, this is one of the things that me personally, talking to Teddy Bruschi's of the world and Willie McGinnis and other former Patriots, they all say about how that Bill Belichick personality y'all get, oh, that's a misnomer. That ain't the dude we deal with, Julian Edelman and all these guys. Bill Belichick allows you to be yourself, whatever that is. Now, the goal is the goal. Let's not lose sight of that. But along the way, be yourself. Just come to work. These are my rules. To a point.
You do your job.
Do your job. Okay. Do your job and do it well. All right? But you be yourself. I find listening to Herm Edwards yesterday, I found him to be speaking in a fashion that wants guys to be a certain way. If LaShawn McCoy was calling out Rex Ryan like that, we got a problem because that's crossing the line. But talking about a former coach who I will remind this nation has had things said about him that we have never heard about an NFL coach, ever. You've been covering the NFL for 40 years. Tell me one coach that was talked about in a fashion that Chip Kelly has been talked about.
Oh, Chip Kelly.
Tell me who. There has never, Bill Parcells, I mean, from the days of Vince Lombardi and Hank Stram and Chuck Noll, to Bud Grant, to Jimmy, the Bill Walsh and Jimmy Johnson and Tom Landry, and the list goes on and on, to the Bill Parcells, the Bill Belichick, Mike McCarthy in Green Bay, Sean Payton in New Orleans, and the list over, all white, all of them. Nobody talked about them. This is not a white-black thing. This is a Chip Kelly thing. Okay. And they're saying to you, LaShawn is saying to you, there's something special about this dude. Y'all don't understand it. And I'm saying, wait a minute. I'll repeat and regurgitate what I said yesterday. How is it that LaShawn McCoy, whether it's through his comments on WIP in Philadelphia, or it's Herm responding to him, Adrian Peterson, DeMarco Murray, and all of, whatever the case may be, how is it that he has to answer questions instead of Chip Kelly having to answer directly the assertions that have been made about him and against him?
Quick point of order, and I wanted to make this for Herm's sake, because I disagree with Herm about this. It's not a new thing. Remember, I covered the Dallas Cowboys for a long time. If I go, I'm going way back now, but do you remember Dwayne Thomas, Super Bowl VI? Yeah. Do you remember Hollywood Henderson?
Oh, no question.
And you definitely remember Tony Dorsett, right?
Of course.
Okay, there were a parade of players took on Tom Landry because they all said, all black players, that he was out of touch with the black athlete during all those years of greatness, okay? So they were out front. Dwayne Thomas was leading the charge very publicly.
They were out front. But let's be fair to Tom Landry. Not just old school. It was a different time.
Okay.
I mean, you're talking about you're talking about just a few years removed from civil rights, from civil rights legislation.
You're right.
You're down south in the deep south in Texas. I'm just saying Southwest. I'm just saying Texas.
It is.
So people up north is Texas. Okay. So I'm like, wait a minute, and he's Tom Landry. So all of those things being considered, he may have very well been guilty of that because of the times that you're just graduating from, etc.
Yep.
This is 2015. What y'all talking about?
Okay.
And no comparison. No comparison compared to those days.
I was 1,000% behind LeSean taking a stand about this, and you too.
Yes.
I loved it that you broke the ice on this because you broke the story. There's a time and a place. I don't think you need to revive it through the week in which you're going back to Philadelphia. In this case, this week, you take out your revenge on the football field.
I saw LeSean McCoy answering questions.
He was. You could just dismiss it and say, I've talked enough about this.
I feel you. But the point is, look, you got folks on there. I'm watching some interview on video last night with John Kasich, governor of Ohio, talking about Donald Trump. Now, he told the interviewer, look, enough. I'm not talking about it. But it was after he answered about 3 questions. So what I'm trying to say to you is that, look, man, if you go to a person and you're in their face and you ask them questions, that's entirely different than them just coming out and marching and looking for trouble. It's entirely different. We got to own the fact that, look, we kind of instigated. That's all I'm saying.
We do. But what's the primary goal this week in the National Football League? Thank you.
All right. So what are we going to say if LeSean wins? What are we going to say if LeSean runs for... Listen, if LeSean runs for 185 yards, right, and the Buffalo Bills win, you know what some people in the media are going to say? He's still wrong for doing that to Chip Kelly.
They might.
Come on, man. Come on. I'm just saying. It's like, listen, I would not have done it, but I respect his right to do that because the offense is still fresh. It's still fresh.
It is.
He has a right to feel that way.
And he does way more than DeMarco has a right after a big win to complain about lack of carries or Adrian.
Yeah,
okay.
But I think,
and that's why we felt the need to address Herm, because I have no problem with Herm's position about DeMarco Murray or Adrian Peterson.
Good.
I have a problem with the position that LeSean McCoy is included in that because I don't think that he deserves that.
I get it, and he has a right to answer questions honestly and speak his truth. But I think, I don't want to speak for Herm, but I think his issue is the totality of this me-first attitude, and he wants it to be we and about the game.
The NFL
Herm got fed up with the pile of it yesterday.
And that's fine, but what Herm Edwards needs to understand and embrace respectfully, again, I love this man, is that the NFL is a me-first brand. Damn, they're a me-first brand.
Well, it's an NFL first.
No, but NFL, listen, man, when you're trying to charge people to perform at the Super Bowl, that's bad. That's bad.
That's how big you are.
I'm just saying, when you look at the rules change, it's not, wait a minute, how they get that big? Because they promoted themselves ad nauseum. Okay, let's call it what it is.
Okay.
Let's call it. Listen, we do a fabulous job of promoting ourselves. It ain't an accident that we the worldwide leader. Come on now. I mean, all I'm saying is that, wait a minute, how you gonna knock him for that when you are Herm? You support and worked for and have connections in a league that has been me first since you were playing. How you don't know that?
Okay, but it's league first, right?
He just doesn't like it.
Listen, he just don't like it. That's all I'm saying. He don't like it, but don't make him right.
Okay, but just remember, bottom line, this league will go on being the most popular sport in America without Tom Brady or LeSean McCoy or anybody else.
That's right. So they got to get theirs while they can get theirs. Whether it's money monetarily or it's speaking their mind about a particular issue that they deem important to themselves.
All right, that's fine.
All right, all eyes will be on LeSean's first game back in Philly. Of course, he's the Eagles' all-time leading rusher. Herm will join us later in the show. Moving on.